If you ever wake up with a fluttering eyelid, a jumping calf, or that weird shaky weakness, your first thought is usually, am I low on something? Sometimes you are, but a lot of the time the trigger is simpler: your sleep setup and sleep habits. Sleep is when your nervous system recalibrates, your muscles recover, and your electrolyte balance stabilizes. When sleep gets fragmented or mistimed, nerves can become more excitable and muscles can feel twitchy or easily fatigued the next day. The good news is you can often reduce these symptoms by fixing a few common sleep mistakes. We'll go through 6 of the biggest ones, and I'll explain the mechanism in plain language, what's happening in your body, and why it can show up as twitching or weakness. Along the way, I'll also flag a few red signs that deserve medical attention. Let's start with the mistake that quietly amplifies almost every other one: inconsistent sleep timing. Moving to slide 2. Mistake number 1 is a shifting sleep schedule, different bedtimes and wake times across the week. Your body runs on an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. It coordinates hormones, body temperature, and the timing of deep sleep and REM. When your schedule swings, that clock gets confused, and your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented, even if you're in bed long enough. Fragmented sleep raises stress signaling, and that can make motor nerves more trigger-happy. You might notice more eyelid twitching, calf flickers, or that wired but tired feeling. It also reduces the consistency of muscle repair overnight, so you can feel weaker or sore with the same workouts. A practical target is a stable wake time because it anchors the clock more strongly than bedtime. Even a 30 to 60-minute window helps. If you need to shift your schedule, do it gradually, 15 minutes earlier every couple of days, so your nervous system can adapt without a jolt. Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 2 is chronic sleep restriction, getting 6 hours or less and calling it normal. One short night won't usually do it. The issue is the accumulation of sleep debt. With less deep sleep, your muscles get less of the slow, restorative phase where growth and repair processes are prioritized. At the same time, your brain has to keep motor control running on fewer resources, so coordination can feel off and muscles can fatigue faster. Sleep restriction also tends to increase perceived stress, which can tighten muscles and raise the baseline noise in the nervous system. That's a perfect recipe for twitches that show up when you finally sit still. A useful check is this: if you need an alarm to function most days, you may be undersleeping. Many adults do best around 7 to 9 hours, but the real goal is consistent, refreshing sleep with stable energy and fewer symptoms. If you extend sleep, do it by adding time in bed, not by sleeping in wildly on weekends. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 3 is late-day stimulants, especially caffeine too close to bedtime. Caffeine doesn't just keep you awake. It can reduce sleep depth, increase nighttime awakenings, and shift you into lighter stages where your body is more reactive. Even if you fall asleep quickly, the quality can be poorer. Caffeine also increases adrenaline-like signaling in some people, and that can make muscles feel jittery or prone to fasciculations, those small, visible twitches under the skin. The tricky part is timing. Caffeine's half-life is often around 5 to 6 hours, but it varies a lot. So a 4 p.m. coffee can still be active at 10 p.m., and for sensitive people, even longer. A clean experiment is to set a caffeine cutoff, like 8 hours before bed for 2 weeks, and watch what happens to twitching, sleep continuity, and next-day strength. If you use pre-workout products, check labels, because stimulants can hide in plain sight. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 4 is alcohol as a sleep aid. Alcohol can make you sleepy at first, so it feels like it helps, but studies show it often disrupts the second half of the night, increasing awakenings and reducing REM sleep. It can also worsen snoring and obstructive sleep apnea in susceptible people, which means repeated microarousals that you may not remember. When your sleep is chopped up like that, your nervous system doesn't fully downshift, and muscles may feel more irritable the next day. Alcohol also affects fluid balance and can increase nighttime urination, which further fragments sleep. In some people, it can contribute to cramps or twitching through dehydration and electrolyte shifts, especially if combined with sweating or a salty meal. If you drink, a helpful harm reduction approach is spacing. Finish earlier, keep it moderate, and hydrate. Then compare your twitching and morning strength on alcohol nights versus alcohol-free nights. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 5 is going to bed dehydrated, or the opposite, chugging a lot of fluid right before sleep. Hydration affects blood volume, circulation, and the balance of electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, which help nerves and muscles communicate. If you're mildly dehydrated, muscles may cramp more easily, and nerves can become more sensitive. But if you drink a large amount right before bed, you may wake up to urinate, fragmenting sleep and increasing stress signaling. The goal is steady hydration earlier in the day. A simple approach is to check your urine color in the afternoon. Pale yellow is often a reasonable target for many people. Also consider what you lose. Heavy sweating, hot environments, long workouts, or a lot of caffeine can increase fluid loss. If twitching clusters on nights after intense sweating, it's a clue. You don't need to overdo supplements. Often, consistent fluids and balanced meals do most of the work. Moving to slide 7. Mistake number 6 is magnesium and electrolyte neglect, especially when your diet is inconsistent. This isn't about chasing a single magic mineral. It's about giving your nervous system stable inputs. Magnesium supports normal nerve signaling and muscle relaxation. Potassium and sodium help set the electrical gradients that allow muscles to contract and release. If your intake is low, or if you lose a lot through sweat, diarrhea, or certain restrictive diets, you might notice more twitching, cramps, or that heavy, weak feeling. The sleep connection is that poor sleep can increase stress hormones, and stress can increase mineral loss through urine for some people, so it can become a loop. Sleep poorly, feel twitchy, get stressed, sleep worse. The practical move is food first. Think leafy greens, beans, yogurt, potatoes, nuts, and adequate protein and salt for your activity level. If you consider supplements, it's smart to discuss it with a clinician, especially if you have kidney or heart issues. Moving to slide 8. Now let's talk about a big amplifier, sleeping in a room that's too warm. When your core body temperature stays high, it's harder to enter and maintain deeper sleep stages. You may toss, wake up more, and spend more time in lighter sleep where your nervous system is easier to evoke. Heat also increases sweating, which can subtly shift hydration and electrolytes overnight. That combination, lighter sleep plus fluid loss, can show up as morning weakness, shakiness, or calf twitches when you stretch. A cooler environment tends to support more stable sleep architecture. For many people, that means a slightly cool room, breathable bedding, and avoiding heavy blankets that trap heat. If you can't control the room temperature, you can still control microclimate. Lighter sleepwear, a fan, or moisture-wicking sheets. The test is simple. Track 2 weeks with a cooler setup and see whether you wake less, feel steadier, and notice fewer random muscle jumps during quiet moments. Moving to slide 9. Another sleep mistake is ignoring breathing disruptions at night. You don't need to be fully awake to have your sleep repeatedly interrupted. Snoring, mouth breathing, and obstructive sleep apnea can cause microarousals that fragment sleep and reduce oxygen stability. Over time, that can leave you feeling weak, headachy, or unusually fatigued, and it can raise stress signaling that makes twitching more noticeable. A classic pattern is you sleep long enough, but you wake unrefreshed, and you get sleepy in the afternoon. Dry mouth in the morning is another clue. This isn't something to self-diagnose, but it is something to take seriously, because effective treatments exist and can improve sleep quality dramatically. If a partner notices loud snoring, choking sounds, or pauses in breathing, that's a strong reason to talk with a clinician. Better breathing at night often means calmer nerves during the day. Moving to slide 10. Let's add one more common trigger: intense late-night training. Exercise is great for sleep in the long run, but timing matters. Hard sessions late in the evening can keep your body temperature elevated and your nervous system revved up. You may fall asleep, but your sleep can be lighter with more awakenings. If you also push to failure, you create more muscle microdamage that needs deep sleep to repair. Without that deep sleep, you may wake up feeling weak, shaky, or unusually sore, and twitching can pop up as the nervous system tries to manage fatigued muscle fibers. If evenings are your only option, consider adjusting intensity. Keep late workouts more technique-focused, zone 2 cardio, or moderate strength work with a bit of reserve. Then place the highest intensity sessions earlier in the day when possible. The goal is recovery-friendly training that doesn't steal from the sleep you need to adapt. Moving to slide 11. Here's a mistake that surprises people. Scrolling in bright light right before bed. Strong light at night, especially cool or blue-leaning light, can delay melatonin timing and make it harder for your brain to commit to sleep. Even more important, mental stimulation keeps your stress system slightly activated. You might not feel anxious, but your nervous system stays online. That can raise muscle tone, increase jaw clenching, and make small twitches more likely when you finally lie still. The fix isn't perfection. It's a wind-down buffer. Try a consistent 30 to 60 minutes, where the goal is low stimulation, dimmer lights, calmer content, and a predictable routine. If you must use screens, reduce brightness, and keep content boring. Think of it as giving your nervous system a gentle runway instead of a sudden cliff. Better downshifting at night often means fewer random muscle signals during the day. Moving to slide 12. Now a quick reality check. Not all twitching is from sleep mistakes. Benign fasciculations can happen with stress, caffeine, and fatigue, and they're common. But there are situations where you should get evaluated sooner rather than later. If twitching comes with progressive weakness, dropping objects, visible muscle shrinking, persistent numbness, or changes in speech or swallowing, don't wait. Also pay attention if symptoms are one-sided, rapidly worsening, or paired with severe cramps and dark urine after intense exercise. Sleep can still matter, but you want a clinician to rule out nerve, thyroid, vitamin, or electrolyte problems, and to consider medication side effects. The point is not to panic. It's to be appropriately cautious. Most people watching this are dealing with intermittent twitching and a run-down feeling. For that group, sleep improvements are a high-leverage place to start, because they reduce stress load and improve recovery across the board. Moving to slide 13. Let's turn all of this into a simple plan you can actually follow. First, pick one anchor, a consistent wake time even on weekends. Second, protect sleep depth by moving caffeine earlier and keeping alcohol modest and earlier if you drink. Third, build a hydration rhythm, steady fluids during the day, not a big bolus at night. Fourth, support electrolytes with regular meals, especially on sweat-heavy days. Fifth, cool and darken your sleep environment so your body can drop temperature and stay asleep. Sixth, create a short wind-down routine that signals we're done to your nervous system. Dim lights, low stimulation, and a predictable sequence. If you want to track results, don't track everything. Track 2 symptoms, twitch frequency and next-day strength or fatigue, on a simple 1 to 10 scale. Give each change at least 10 to 14 nights. Sleep improvements are often gradual, but when they work, you usually notice fewer random twitches and a steadier, stronger feeling during the day. Moving to slide 14. To wrap up, muscle twitching and that washed-out weakness often aren't random. They're frequently the nervous system reacting to fragmented sleep, mistimed stimulation, hydration and electrolyte swings, and recovery that never fully completes. If you fix the big 6 sleep mistakes, irregular timing, too little sleep, late caffeine, alcohol at night, poor hydration timing, and electrolyte blind spots, you give your body a calmer baseline. Then, the smaller amplifiers like heat, late intense workouts, and bright light at night become easier to manage. If you want, share your experience as a quick forced choice. Do your twitches show up more with A, late caffeine, or B, poor sleep timing? And if you found this useful, consider subscribing for more clear, evidence-aware health explanations without the hype. This information is not a substitute for medical advice.